You know, we always hear about love being this magical thing that belongs to the young. Movies, songs, stories, they all make it seem like love is only about teenagers sneaking out of their houses, or young couples holding hands for the first time. But here's the truth nobody says out loud enough: love doesn't have an age limit. It doesn't vanish when you get older. It doesn't dry up once you pass a certain number. The heart doesn't check your birth certificate before it decides to care for someone. And that's exactly what makes Harrison Ford's story so powerful. He's not just the tough, adventurous guy we remember as Indiana Jones or Han Solo. He's living proof that even in your 60s, your heart is still wide open. His love story with Calista Flockhart reminds us that romance can start fresh, even after life has already taken you through ups and downs. Now, let me tell you how this all played out. Harrison had already lived through marriages before. Twice, actually. He knew what it felt like to fall in love, and he knew what it felt like when love didn't last. That's something a lot of us can relate to, right? Maybe you've gone through relationships that didn't work out. Maybe you've been hurt, or maybe you've told yourself, that's it. I'm too old for this now. My chance is gone. Harrison could have thought the same thing. But he didn't. When he met Calista Flockhart in 2002, he was already in his 60s. She was in her late 30s. And of course, the world noticed the age gap. People had their opinions. Some thought it wouldn't last. Some thought it was just another Hollywood fling, something that would fade quickly. But here we are, over 20 years later, and they're still together. They even got married in 2010, and their bond has only grown stronger with time. Harrison once said something so simple, but so important. He said, "Old people can love too." Just think about that. It sounds obvious, but how often do we forget it? How often do we assume that once you hit a certain age, romance is over, that it's too late to find someone new, too late to start again? Harrison is showing us that's not true at all. Love isn't just about butterflies in your stomach or that dizzy feeling you get when you're young and everything feels brand new. Sure, that's one version of love. But as you get older, you start to realize love is more about connection. It's about having someone who understands you. Someone who respects you. Someone you can laugh with when things are light and lean on when things get tough. That's the kind of love that sticks. And that's exactly what Harrison found with Calista. Think about it for a moment. By the time you've lived through a couple of decades, life has already handed you so many lessons. You've had heartbreaks that left you questioning yourself. You've had disappointments that shook your confidence. And you've probably made a few mistakes you promised yourself you'd never repeat. That's just part of being human. But here's the beautiful thing: those very experiences are the ones that make you wiser. They help you understand yourself better. They teach you what truly matters, what doesn't, and what kind of love is worth holding on to. That's exactly what happened with Harrison Ford. His past marriages, his ups and downs, weren't failures. They were stepping stones. Each one taught him something about himself, something about relationships, and something about what it really takes to make love last. And those lessons shaped the kind of partner he eventually became, the kind of man who could fully appreciate what he found with Calista Flockhart. Now here's where their story gets even more touching. Their relationship isn't just about the two of them. It grew into something even bigger when Harrison chose to adopt Calista's son, Liam. That decision says so much. It shows that love isn't only about romance, it's also about family. It's about stepping into someone's life, embracing everything that comes with them, and saying, "I'm here. I'm choosing this. I'm choosing us." That's powerful. It's proof that it's never too late to start over. Never too late to create a home filled with love. Never too late to give your heart to someone new, and to a family that comes with them. What makes their story stand out even more is how simple and grounded they keep things. They're not the kind of couple that flaunts their love for the cameras or makes headlines with drama. They don't need to. Instead, they focus on what really matters, each other and their family. In a world where so many celebrity couples crash and burn in front of the spotlight, Harrison and Calista show us something different. They prove that sometimes love grows strongest when it's quiet, private, and real. And here's something most people never really think about. Love later in life actually has its own unique advantages. When you're young, love can feel like a roller coaster. It's exciting, it's dramatic, it's filled with passion, but it can also be unstable. You're still figuring out who you are, what you want, and what you're willing to give. But when you're older, all of that shifts. The focus isn't on trying to impress anyone anymore. It's not about flashy gestures or proving yourself. It becomes about companionship. It becomes about comfort. It becomes about finding peace with someone who makes you feel safe and valued. Experts even say that older couples often experience deeper emotional bonds. Why? Because by then, the relationship isn't built on surface-level attraction, it's built on something much more meaningful. It's built on respect, on understanding, on laughter, and on support. Doesn't that sound like the kind of love most of us dream about? A love that's calm, steady, and strong enough to weather anything life throws at it. So if you've ever found yourself thinking, "I'm too old for love," or "it's too late for me," let this be your reminder that those thoughts aren't true. Your heart doesn't stop caring because of your age. Your ability to love doesn't fade just because the calendar keeps moving forward. Life doesn't work that way. Your story isn't finished until it's finished, and every new chapter can still surprise you. And think about Harrison again. We all remember him as Indiana Jones, running headfirst into danger, dodging traps, fighting enemies, and taking risks. But in real life, one of the bravest risks he ever took wasn't in front of the cameras. It was choosing to open his heart again after heartbreak. Choosing to let himself believe in love again, even after people doubted him, even after the world whispered that maybe his time had passed. That's real bravery. That's the kind of courage that matters most. And isn't that what life is really about? Taking chances, even when you're scared. Believing in fresh starts, even when you've been hurt before. Choosing to believe in new beginnings, even when the world tells you it's too late. If Harrison can do it, so can you. Maybe you've been through a breakup that still stings. Maybe you've been single for years and you feel like the opportunity for love has slipped away. Maybe that little voice inside your head keeps telling you, "Don't bother. Love isn't for you anymore. It won't work out." But here's the thing, what if that voice is wrong? What if it's lying to you? What if the best love story of your life hasn't even started yet? Harrison's journey proves that it's possible, that it can happen when you least expect it, that it can start at any age. So let me leave you with this. Love is timeless. It doesn't look at a clock. It doesn't check the calendar. So here's the question I want you to think about. Do you believe love gets better as we get older, or do you think it becomes harder? There's no right or wrong answer. Everyone's story is different, and that's what makes these conversations so important. I'd really love to hear your thoughts, so don't be shy about sharing. And if this story gave you even a little bit of hope, or maybe just made you smile, then I think you'll love hearing about other love stories that prove romance doesn't have an age limit. Go check out the other videos I've shared after this one, you'll see exactly what I mean. And hey, if you enjoyed spending this time with me, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell so you never miss a story like this. Because trust me, there are so many more out there that will remind you of the same thing Harrison Ford reminded us, that love can surprise us at any age. So let me ask you again, are you ready to believe, just like Harrison Ford, that old people can love too?